Yeah,
What the
Australian
heck?
is his first language. Come on, man. Be
wow.
respectful.
Wow. We worked together for how long?
5 years max.
Yeah.
I still
They
don't know.
banned Scion again. They know the trick.
They're aware.
Yeah. Still going to first pick it, as it turns out. As we have the Poppy and the Ambassador taken away, and on the other side, same bands to come on through once again. But now, because it's Fearless, we're not going to have the Orianna or Azir to worry about. The Rise value going to be going up.
Honestly, I think Caitlyn value for Doggo is going to go up.
True.
I really do think that it's a champion that you can just have so much agency on the bot side of the map. And I feel like with the amount of dive that we're seeing from junglers especially, but the Wukong's open. So I think that they're going to change their priority and instead lock that one in on the side of CFO unless HLE look to remove it.
And they're like also anticipating the Rise ban that could theoretically come through. If the Wukong is banned, they can't first pick it. They can pick the Rise without having to worry about Aurora. I kind of love this from the side of CFO.
So will it be the Rise first pick? Would you guys consider Zeka a prominent Casio player?
No.
But Talia player?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he can do that one. Although it's not my favorite. Like this year, I feel was where he really figured out Talia, but it wasn't one of the ones in his wheelhouse.
You could also say it is a Victor angle, and I would disagree with him.
Oh God, no!
But we have seen him do it many a time. As the Rise is going to come through. Something that we also highlighted during the last game, and I hope CFO pivot away from, is that I think with how crisp Hanwha Life looked in the team fights and the target selection, now that draft was also a little silly when it comes to dive, but maybe pivoting towards a free carry composition is a better angle. And that has nothing to do with the play that we saw beforehand, but having rest also on an actual carry, I think could create a lot of opportunities for them, where even if Honkyu is focused, even if Doggo is focused, they do have a third threat. Because a lot of the fights in the last game did come down, and they're not going to be any better, because we're already seeing Vitalia when it comes to a single carry immediately taken out of the fight. So I would love to see CFO try to find something with at least a decent amount of threat towards the top side of the map.
Well, a blind Trundle is not blind, actually, because Vi is already locked in. So the Trundle for Jinjie is going to be considered here, at least, as far as that answer is concerned. We'll see whether it is going to be more damage. I think it's the top lane that our eyes are really going to be glued, but I don't know whether it's going to be a blind top lane choice here, unless they really want to keep this bottom lane a secret. I wouldn't even mind something like an Alistair, just because it's so good into Trundle. Then you wouldn't have to worry about banning it, things like that. Keep your top side a little bit more open.
I feel like the Viper is eyeing up a Kai'Sa right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm wondering if Doggo just wants to get his AD carry now to potentially dissuade it. I don't love the idea of are they really going to blind Renekton? They're going to blind Renekton.
They blinded Renekton.
So I am happy about the fact that Renekton is picked.
It's Zeus.
That's
what I mean.
I wasn't done. I'm not happy with where it's picked, because Zeus is the guy that will counterpick you in a way that will make your laning phase very, very miserable. And I think Zeus has had his fair share of ups and downs, but I think so far at Worlds, he has been able to perform. And this was one of his true trademark champions. We'll see if it actually gets knocked in.
Oh, no! Wow! That I was like, whoa, this is his debut champion. He's so good at this is incredible. And then it was, this is the champion only Flandre is allowed to play at this tournament.
Yeah, I do think Zeus is like the only one where I remember him having Rek'Sai games also way back where it looked pretty solid, but I'm kind of with you on this one, Atlas. I feel like the blind Renekton not feeling too bad.
I mean, I guess they just wanted a more reliable dive buddy alongside the Vi, so that when Vi inevitably ults onto Honkyu or Doggo, at least there's someone there right next to the Vi. In any case, we'll see how things transpire as we move into the second phase. Already the Nico going to be removed from the bot lane pool.
I imagine the support pool might really get thinned. We might see some fun stuff.
I feel Kai'Sa has to be high on the list for CFO. Like, Viper is known for many a AD carry, but I feel like Kai'Sa is kind of up there.
He did go to the LPL to get his Kai'Sa license. We've got Ruler as well, who did manage to get that one. The rest of the players that we have in the LCK, they do not have them. They do not have that license, unfortunately. The Corki going to be the first one taken away, though, and it's kind of similar vibe, does a lot of damage, especially on 2 items.
I really like the Corki ban here. Corki, to me, is one of those AD carries that just doesn't really have weaknesses. Like, his laning phase is good. If you can pilot him well, we've seen Ruler, for me, is always the standout, at least in the LCK. He skills well. Your 2-item power spike is disgusting. And he is really hard to lock down, and so far we're not seeing too much of that, as there is the... And that's a crazy amount of respect, because you do have the amount of dive that will make Draven's life very hard. So Doggo I think given the respect that he does deserve.
The reason why I respect it is only because we've seen a Morgana at this tournament already, and I could just imagine CFO locking in a Draven Morgana bot lane and being like, yeah, have fun, Peanut. Good luck getting through that.
Yeah. Try and do damage to this guy. Oh, we do have one more ban remaining. Will it be that Kai'Sa taken away? And it will.
There it is.
And so I think that like now you've sort of opened the floor for like an R4 Caitlyn pick to feel a little bit better. And that is what is hovered, at least for now, and locked away. Doggo, what is the answer here to this? Oh my God, that would be so all in.
There's no way.
Oh, Doggo, please. Surely. No, he's not.
No. He's
sometimes
just
hovers are fun.
He's teasing you.
He knows what the people want.
It's something like an Ashe. Maybe it's a...
I like Ashe a lot, actually.
Jinx could be a possibility.
Jinx also have good setup, right, to get kills early on.
The only problem is, like, how do you live?
Ziggs.
Okay.
Okay.
Ziggs definitely helps you live, that's for sure. I mean, their damage profile is also completely fine because they've got that bruiser with a Renekton in the top lane. And I mean, I will never doubt Doggo on any champion that he plays. All I know is that he doesn't press... You know how WASD, W is for forward, S is for back?
Yeah.
I think they removed his S key. I think that he only has the W.
He's one of those players that just remaps D to like another go forward.
Yeah, exactly.
A big thing that we always talk about is satcheling aggressively, right? Like how do you use your satchel? And then what we mean by that is using your satchel for poke. I'd like to think that Doggo actually satchels himself into other people
absolutely.
So he can do more damage.
Also, D is turn right. It was S that I was talking about and realized at the end of the sentence, so that was a little bit unfortunate. The Leona, this is one of the classic Ziggs bottom lanes. And is Delight going to do a classic Caitlyn? Like, just lock Lux. It'd just be fun.
Ooh.
Instead, it's going to be a cow. And when you see a Trundle, a cow is pretty good.
Yeah.
Cow beats
don't
troll.
Get to subjugate it. Yeah, cow beats troll. It's like rock, paper, scissors. I don't know what the other thing is. Maybe bridge. You haven't played that one? Troll cow bridge?
I mean, I've heard of it.
I'm lost.
Yeah.
All right. Alistair locked
fine.
in here.
You've got time to figure that one out. Okay. These are your compositions. I do feel like HLE would look better with a Gnar, but that might be personal preference.
I think so.
And we'll see whether Zeus is going to be able to join Flandre as one of the players that's able to make the Rek'Sai look pretty damn good.
I do love the early setup here for CFO. I think that you have an incredible amount of early game power, right? You have Leona, you have Ryze, you have the Trundle, which you can really use to get off to a good start. I think we did see them really struggle with keeping up once it came to mid to late game with the rotations that Hanwha had around the map. So we'll see if they're able to find a better answer to that this time around.
I'm just worried about this Renekton. I think it's going to be so difficult to execute against Caitlyn Talia. Like, he's going to have to find some crazy flanks. You do have Leona, which I think can be a very good engaged champion. But again, like, there's just not a huge amount of CC on the side of CFO. So I feel like they're going to run into very similar ranged problems that they ran into in game one. But hey, we know that CFO is aggressive, so let's see what they can do in the early game.
Exactly right. Both of these teams wanting to get off to some early sieges as well, so movements around the map and allocating lanes is going to be something that we're going to be glued to. But now it is time to pseudo hop onto the Rift as a sepia mode is what we are greeted with, making sure maybe it's, rest. Maybe he did accidentally pick up the God mode mouse, and so everyone was doing the same mouse movements.
So
and it would have been very
I'm gonna
awkward.
regret this, but the cow bridge, is it like because the troll's under the bridge, so he loses to the bridge, or like what is the?
I think the cow loses to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, because the bridge is with. So you have a hand.
Just play
game.
it. We can play it right now.
Yeah. We're not going to though.
We're not
We've got
going to. There's a more important game to play.
We're going to focus on that one right now. First damage going over to CFO as the bouncing bomb does connect onto the cow. Ziggs would be another thing that we could include into the game, but it would make it too complicated. That one's pretty good.
He's in a separate game.
Yeah.
Aww.
Ooh, doing some thumbs up. Zeus has been very good at the top laner game. And you can see Rest having a bit of a go as well. But right now, HLE asserting some dominance as the Gyos come through.
Minions have spawned.
Looking at the early setups here, we have Zeus with what I assume will just be the same like kind of bruiser build here for the Rek'Sai. Does have Grasp to try and stack as much health as possible. Also, Doggo does have TP, which obviously will help both rotations around the map, but I do think that level 1 for the Ziggs. In some lanes, you can actually see him be pretty oppressive. Caitlyn lanes, I don't think is going to be one of them. Even though the Alistair obviously is really weak level 1, I think just the amount of damage that that Viper can do, plus the fact that they have early access to the wave here, should mean that it might be a bit of a struggle.
Yep, Peanut, 149 international games, and this might be one of the last ones, right? And it will be. A few extra best of fives perhaps in his future if they can get a victory here, though, as Peanut does get a ward down on this red buff, sees that it's not there, and now moves all the way over towards the chickens.
But he
now
doesn't win
Junja
that.
is going to see him.
He doesn't win that.
Yeah, and so instead he's just going to annoy the chickens.
I mean, that's they must have had to read that it was at the top side of the map, that he started there. Because otherwise, I don't know why he would go for reps. I thought at first he was going to go over the pit and then go for a play towards bot side.
It really felt like that his plan was to try and split the map because, I mean, it's something that you do all the time with Caitlyn lanes, right? To try and provide her with that safety. Junja, though, looking for a gank in mids.
Yep, gets a really nice pillar, and the flash has to be employed here by Zeka. Lots of respect, but he gets to now move into this top side. And now, is it just going to be a 3-quadrant start? For Junja, this is real rough for Peanut.
And for Zeka, you know he's there. Like, we just witnessed him. You know his bot side jungle is fully cleared. He just can appear in that brush. Really, to play a little bit more towards the other half of the map. There might be an angle for you there. And now Junja, again, this is PTA Trundle. Like, Vi does not get to stand a chance here. Peanut will know.
Well.
Oh dear. Peanut will know that this is going down. Gets a ward in there. Vault Breaker comes through. Let's see who wins the Smite fight, because we know Junja is probably just going to win the fight. Zeka is going to move up, though, trying to make that man advantage. Smite does come on through, as Peanut does get his red buff. Flash has to be employed as Zeka in there in the nick of time to save his jungler and to try and bail him out.
Really nice play from Zeka as he sacrifices some farm in the mid wave to support his jungler. Bit of an over-ambitious play from Junja. I feel like if he'd gone for the Krugs, then there was an opportunity for him to steal those away without being punished. But ultimately, he sets his sight on the red buff. He's not going to lose too much outside of his flash, which could come back to bite him later. But he picks up the Scuttle Crab. He's going to clear out his top camps. And overall, he's still going to be ahead of Peanut, who makes his way back out onto the map.
Yeah, should be Scuttle for Peanut as he makes his way back down towards that bottom side. So it could have been way worse, but it is still a decent little tempo advantage here for CFO. That's real tempo that we're talking about there as well, in case anyone was thinking the Tempo Vibes were going to make a comeback. Right now, Tempo Vibes feeling pretty even between these two squads.
Peanut did ping. Yeah, he's actually going to go for it. So on the minimap, he briefly pinged that he was sending his sights on the bot lane Krugs. He knows that Trundle wants to clear through the top side, but Junja seems to be reading this super well. He's actually pathing his way towards the bot side. Kaiwing is going to come and check. Now they'll spot him out.
Yeah, Kaiwing gets the information. Zenith Blade is going to hit there as well, as Peanut is behind enemy lines, and now Junja's going to make his way in. No flash. He cannot get over here, but Peanut just goes straight into his hands. Not sure about that one, as Peanut is just dead. First blood over to Junja.
What a phenomenal read from Junja to recognize that Peanut would try to go for the Krugs. I mean, Peanut's early game has been completely usurped through all of these reads from Junja. And now it's CFO with first blood.
Yeah, double crab start.
That's with his bot lane having prio as well. So, like, I feel like if he just paths toward his own bot lane...
I think that's part of the reason why he thought that those would be safe. But again, he's communicating with Kaiwing saying, hey, can you check the Krugs? I think he's there. And the irony is he goes over the wall. He also should have known that Junja was over the wall. He queues over. I guess he's thinking, I know he doesn't have flash. I have flash. I get to the Dragon Pit. I can flash to safety. But the pillar then completely changes that.
Yeah, and I thought the Frozen Domain was on the ground, although it was the old one. But still, a bit of a confusing situation there. Viper playing into the hands of Junja, and now on the back foot. Currently 500 gold behind, the largest gold advantage there for Junja, as Kaiwing moving back down towards the bottom side. Elsewhere, we haven't really been keeping up right now. Viper is feeling all right, about a wave in the lead as far as farm, and Zeus is doing fine too.
I'm wondering, I've played a lot of Trundle, I don't actually know if he didn't have vision of the Frozen Domain because he didn't have vision of Junja.
Yeah, right. That's what I kind of
thought.
So,
like, maybe that was the reason, because I feel like otherwise he would always try to at least queue towards his own team. That said, the read from Junja, not just to send Kaiwing over there, but also instead of going for a base after you've already gained the lead, to just immediately run and read Peanut that well is a really big deal. And we've seen CFO do this before. That was, to me, the main reason why they were able to dispatch of T1 the way that they did, is because they had such a good read. And there was, funnily enough, also Owner playing Vi. back then it was Junja on Piana, if I remember correctly, and that early lead was enough for them to take the entire game. It's going to be early dragon here now for CFO as well.
Yep, Ocean does go over here, as Ginger is going to be able to lock that one up. You can see nice knock up here from Zeus, as the Rek'Sai starting to find a few angles here. Peanut clears out this ward, Rest. Does need to be a little careful, as the back will complete, and Zeka makes his way home once more. Does have a tier, which is great. Good to see. But yeah, Rest does manage to get that ward down and will be a-okay. Slight experience advantage here for the
Peanut has made like I think it's like 6 separate jokes in Hanwha Live content about that, by the way.
Really?
It's like, man, he really does a lot of damage. I wonder if that's related to
My favorite was when Prey like messaged him immediately after the game and Peanut's response was just a smiley face. It's just so good. Oh, man.
Especially given that it's Prey.
Yep.
And the history between him and Peanut. As we do have not Peanut. I don't think that 4th invade is the answer.
If at first you don't succeed.
No, I think he wants to Scuttle Crab. I think he's respecting
he will.
Troll King.
Is he on time though? Should be okay.
Yeah.
Smite is about to come off, so I
He's
think
all
he's
good.
fine.
Yeah, convinces the Rift Scuttler to go the other direction, so should be all right. As that Prey Seeker going an awkward direction there for Zeus, who does have Peanut standing alongside. You can see these rage bars are well and truly stacked up. Zeus is going to eat his to get that health bar back.
And if there wasn't a Trundle on the top side of the map, maybe they go for something, but a level 7 Renekton with ultimate, even though he hasn't based yet. By the way, neither top laner has his Peanut.
This is
quite
cheeky.
clever. He's come... Junja thinks that he's gone away, but he's stuck over the wall, came in through the back. Junja doesn't realize, and he's able to steal away one of the grubs. Well done there by Peanut.
Very cute. It should be Ginger being able to grab the next 2, or at least one of them. So that experience lead that he does have should still be there. Peanut with level 6 though, the most important thing for a Vi to get to, and is now able to lock someone down.
You think these 2 top laners just have a pact that we're just gonna not base until our first item?
I hope so.
Wait, he's breaking the pact! He has
this
help!
is kind of ridiculous. Doggo moving up towards that top side. Mega Inferno Bomb does connect, doesn't quite do the damage though, and now he's trying to tunnel his way over. The ulti comes through, and Zeus goes down. Immediately, Doggo now at about 200 health. Zeka trying to get himself out of there. He flashes, but the Realm Warp will follow. There's feats of warfare as no one on CFO has gone down yet, and Kaiwing was even looking for more. It's obliteration by the Oysters.
And CFO find a giant lead here early on. The damage comes down on Zeus. Peanut not able to help in time, and that's a free for 0.
Just extremely well executed from CFO. They waste few movements. After securing the grubs, they turn their attention to top. Rest did the initial damage to allow for Doggo to come in.
Oh my
and
god.
Now they find themselves 3-0 up in kills. They've got a 1.4k gold lead.
Maybe that's the pact.
He did
Full
the
item
thing.
pact.
First base Eclipse.
He got it.
We look back at this play on the top side, and again, Rest is going to find some nice trades in the top lane 1 versus 1. Doggo going to help secure the grubs, and then the arrival of Doggo in the face of Peanut. And again, we talk about this man only having a W key. Like, he both figuratively and literally. The nice interrupt comes through from Kaiwing as well to stop from Zeka collapsing. And then Doggo picks up that kill onto Zeus. They dive underneath the tower onto Peanut. They get themselves another one. I mean, just flawless in execution and nothing but confidence.
But that play from Kaiwing, I think, is actually what makes the whole play work. If Zeka is at that top side and the dive happens while there's like Talia stones, while you have to play around the W, I don't actually think that maybe you trade like even, but it would be a very different situation. But because Kaiwing gets the cancel, Hanwha Life is playing a member down or 2 members down throughout that whole sequence, and 1.5 gold lead. Close to this early on is nothing to scoff at.
Certainly isn't, especially when you're looking at then a Caitlyn that gets some free farm to bail you out. She's not necessarily known for that. As Zeus also not looking like he's going to be able to get out of this one either, as he takes a bite out of him. There is the Vault Breaker available for Peanut to try and play some defense. Zeus might be out, but Peanut could be in trouble. Honky decides that he wants to kill the Rek'Sai, but it may have not been the right choice. Peanut tries to get himself out. The Solar Flare connects. And this is a little bit cute. The ring around the Rosie to come on through now as Peanut not able to get over that wall. 1 bite from Ginger, and he clears out his opposite number. 0-3-0 for Peanut to start this one off.
I mean, Ginger is just schooling Peanut in this game. Zeus did so much to get out of what was a very tricky situation, and Peanut thinks, hey, I'm coming to help. I'm going to escort you to safety, but instead, CFO just turn their attention and say, well, instead, you'll be the target. They pick themselves up another kill. They extend the gold lead even further. And the LCP's first seed holds the gold lead here in Game 2.
It's also Junja on one and then Kaiwing on the other. He was also the one that got the initial setup on Peanut towards the bot side of the map, was able to get the cancel on Zeka earlier on as well. CFO able to actually build up that lead even further. And we do know for Hanwha, obviously, that team fighting power is always very good. That is something that CFO is going to have to really respect, their ability to turn on a dime. I think they're looking at first item finishes on Peanut, on Zeus, and on Viper. Those one-item spikes do really hit. But if... Oh, there we go! They're not letting down on the gas!
Yeah, Honkyu makes his way in with Kaiwing. Viper going to try and go for the execute, and he will be able to get it. Flashes out of the Solar Flare to make sure that no one gets the money. Still going for a bit of a dive now towards the top side of the map as HLE. They've come alive. They're shut down to give Peanut some money back, and Delight gets his unbreakable will and is able to help take down the Croc there on that top side.
The cross map is clean as HLE lose nothing on the bot side, only gain on the top side, and they're going to get some much needed plates to reduce this gold advantage that CFO have been able to build.
And we see Junja take the Dragon. Trundle was one of those champions where I actually would have loved, might still be able to make it actually, so I gotta eat my words there. I was kind of hoping with Triforce, as fed as you are going to absolutely shred through this turret. As we can see here, instead they went to 2 Drakes, which obviously is a big win. Nice ult there from Doggo to clear out the wave, as they should be able to get out here, unless he just bases there, but he will see Kaiwing, so I think he should be good to go.
Yeah, tunnels should be employed to get Zeus out of dodge, and does, of course, have the tremor sense, so should be able to see if anyone's coming. So, not too much to worry about now.
The scary thing for CFO right now is that it's really great that they're getting these kills, but HLE have demonstrated that they have a really good understanding of how to play the map well. We only have to look at last game where after every single skirmish and fight that was happening on the Rift, they would always, once the play was kind of over, send one person back to already start resetting and making their way to one of the side lanes to start pushing out that wave. And we're seeing it already here. The fact that not only was Viper able to make the best out of a bad situation, they also make a successful cross map. And now Delight is here to cover for what is CFO's strong side of the map. So fortunately for CFO, they do at the very least get a turret to reclaim the gold that they had lost. But it's something that CFO have to be very cautious of as Peanut's running into rest.
Yeah, does manage to find the Vault Breaker here as Viper set up. Let's see whether he can get some of these shots in. Teleport to come forward though as CFO are turning the play. Zeka will be moving over. And meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, you've got Zeus and Honkyu potentially about to fight as well. Seismic Shove just to get rid of him. Mega Inferno Bomb right on top of Viper's head. And this Caitlyn's going to be real difficult for him to continue fighting. Bouncing Bomb almost connects at the same time. But HLE look to be out of there.
And I'm happy to report that Doggo does indeed play the same way. On Ziggs, as he done in other champions. Runs bot, gets his turret, immediately gets towards the top side of the map to make the action happen there. And I do understand CFO's want, because as you were highlighting, Vedi, these continuous traits, as they happen throughout the game, Hanwha Life in game 1 was able to just always eke out ahead with small advantages, but it did really add up. So I think CFO is really trying to actually get that break point. And this time I do think their engage is a lot better. The addition of the Leona, the pick potential that you can get with Pillar or a Renekton flank should really help them, because if this gold lead remains the way that it is, I think you might struggle down the line once Viper gets to more items. If not, though, and you're able to build upon it further, you're already at 2 dragons.
Yep, and the Coinbase Gold Grind, as you can see here, Peanut versus Junja. Junja still in a very good position, but it's kind of stagnated as this game has gone on, and that shutdown money really helping Peanut try and find his way back in. As the Blast Cone, the Mega version, is just going to be denied for just about forever. Delight has to flash to get himself out of that situation, and the Mega Cone finally does come in, and the Realm Warp to follow. CFO, a steak dinner prepared beautifully by them.
An easy pick secured onto Delight. We've seen him miss position here and there throughout this tournament, and fortunately for HLE, that's not going to result... I say that, I stand corrected. CFO, of course, run immediately towards the top side where the Herald is spawned. They know they have the numbers advantage, so they're going to force that objective. HLE are also not really on the right side of the map. Peanut now pathing towards bot, wants to at the very least try and cross-map for this tier 1 outer tower.
Also feels like a little bit of disrespect from Hanwha Life, where in the last game we saw that CFO will bring the fight to you. And that's going to be Herald now, should be leading to that mid-turret falling. Hanwha Life able to get something on the cross map here, as we talked about, but I think you still take the Herald, especially if you can open up mid lane. And with a Ziggs, you don't even need to actually kill the turret. Peanut might be looking for a play onto Doggo here.
Yeah, might be able to get it into satchel range is what CFO are thinking, but Doggo playing very defensively will just clear out the wave, back away. And HLE still finding themselves on the back foot. They do manage to get that one turret, they do manage to get that one kill, but that is just not really enough to get them running in this one. And maybe this next Dragon is going to be where they try and turn things around. As Chemtech Soul, not exactly the greatest, but Soul Point's still going to be very, very valuable here for CFO.
Absolutely. CFO find themselves in a very tense moment where, with this kind of gold lead, with the strength that they have, look at the difference from game 1 to game 2. Hongq now constantly on a side lane, has a healthy gold lead, ramping up very nicely on the rise. Gonna have that Seraphs completed very, very soon, as HLE secure another outer tower. Just that last mid one remains, but this isn't going to be an easy one to siege. CFO just have so much of the driving factors here in this game.
Yep.
With the wave clear that they've got thanks to Doggo, the TP committed by Hongq. Now it looks like that Dragon is going to be their focus.
A whole lot of control here of this river, and they're going to throw down Shelly just to make sure that they retain it. Junji is going to drive her in, but we do have the wall being set up, and so it's going to have to be a different place to get a headache. Never mind, just swings by, just bypasses the wall, but then bypasses the turret! It's not what you want to see. There is the cease and desist, and Junja will immediately get punished, but he does have the subjugate, and Zeka just kind of evaporated off the back end. They still get the charge! How the hell did that work? That is so it looked like he missed, but maybe it was part of the play.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Absolutely. We have to. Do we have to now say that it was obviously part of the plan? Because it worked out.
Perfect calculations, Atlas.
Exactly.
How did you not see that?
I really do like to assess things based on the result. Is now Doggo going to get knocked up here by Zeus, looking for the target, and doesn't finish him off. The flash from Peanut will be able to get on in there, and Zeus getting so many knockups in this fight. It is going to be the troll finally going down and getting punished. Viper is at full health in this fight, but now his front line has ran out, and HLE are just trying to get themselves out of there, and Hongq is going to say nope, as they all do take the Realm Warp, and so Zeus might be able to just buy some time here with some tunnels.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. We'll go down for sure here. We'll see who they give the kill to. Looks like it is going to be Rest. Well, maybe an opportunity here as the Dragon is started. Vi does have a good amount of damage here on this objective with her W, but I don't think they're going to get the time.
I'm not sure.
Betty.
Perhaps this is an overestimation of the amount of damage that he can do, because this is nowhere near close, as Rest is going to move himself in. Doggo is teleported over at the same time. Mega Inferno Bomb, massive damage onto Zeka, as Hongq could be in a little bit of trouble, but Kaiwing is keeping him safe. Peanut realizing that he's made a big mistake here as well, as Delight gets the headbutt to save his jungler, but I mean, this is still just a leash, so they get Soul Point.
Yeah, I think Hanwha should be happy that they don't just outright lose the game there. That could have been the end of it. CFO's like, what are you doing? We're not the only one thinking what is going on.
This play started with Herald being used mid.
Oh,
yes.
God.
And I
okay,
think,
now, bring us through this genius play from Junja.
The ultimate from Zeka means that there's no path. So what does he do? He goes around the roundabout, naturally. Yes. This gives him an angle, but then he misses. He misses the tower. But he knew that this would bait them into a fight. Clearly, that was the plan from the very start. Because notice Zeka's positioning. He gets airborne. He gets airborne, and then the chain CC comes through. He immediately dies. Junja ulties, allowing him to buy enough time to flash away to safety. All the while, no one focused the Herald.
And then here, we see that damage being done to the health bars of Hanwha Life is enough to already take them out, and then it's going to be a hero play from Zeus here as Doggo.
He overstays way too long.
He really does, and especially as you don't need to do that. Zeus follows up with the flash, doesn't quite have the damage, which is what leads Peanut to flash, and I think that's what makes this fight awkward. If they have a little bit more there, if they're closer to the rest of their team, maybe Viper is in a better position to do damage, but Viper isn't that big in this game. And with Zeus already as low as he was, having used all his cooldown, same for Peanut, and not able to get more. 3K gold lead now. Soul Point for CFO. And I really wanted this to go to Freaks. Game 1 was a banger. So far, so good.
Yeah, we're looking real good for those 3 games, and we'll be looking even better if CFO can get themselves an Otacon.
No. Let's steer clear of the Otacon. This time, that engage is amazing. Just play for the fight.
No. Based on the last play that we just saw, I want someone.
I think if
known as
CFO is
Alakar.
fighting, it's a good thing.
You have
Absolutely.
your 2-item spikes, right? You have your Renekton with level 11, level 2 in the ultimate, 2 items. You have 2 items on mid. No.
So just start a fight on Otacon.
Yes, here we go.
Well, it's going to be HLE starting this fight as the wall is going to be put down. Zeker is knocked off it a little bit early, though, as Mega Inferno Bomb just pushes Viper out of the fight entirely. They do trade it for Honkyu, as Viper with the redemption might be able to stick around for like a little bit longer, but the Otacon not going to be a target that they can collect.
CFO, is this an Otacon angle?
That actually does, by the way, that ult does save the play, because otherwise Hanwha is 100% playing for Otacon. Instead, because of the damage done to Viper, they don't feel safe. They have to back off. Honkyu, the death is unfortunate, but doesn't give up too much.
Yeah, Honkyu overextends on the top side of the map. HLE overstack. Make sure. I think there were 5 people collapsing on the top lane because there wasn't really much.
TP'd as well.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that explains why there was 5. And the reason why they could afford to do that was because there's nothing really that CFO can cross map for, which is what Honkyu really didn't respect the ability and rationale for HLE to collapse.
They
but
are
CFO,
doing the thing.
They have the TP.
Let's see whether this is going to work, as Zeus is doing his best Void Grub or Rift Herald impression by being a Void monster in the pit. As there's the flick back onto Doggo! Peanut looking for that angle there, but it is just going to be the satchel that tries to get Doggo out of dodge. Zeus now could be the one in trouble, though, as Solar Flare. The circles are layered, and it's not enough damage. He just tunnels his way out. Another shove to buy that space, but the Otacon down underneath half health. As HLE still wanting to go for this one. Redemption to get those health bars back again. As Peanut, can you get the steal? That's the question. He gets himself in, but it's not going to be stolen away. And down goes Peanut immediately. It's a brilliant knock-up there from Delight, but Honkyu is still alive somehow. And CFO are just trying to limp themselves away with the Otacon in tow.
Heist successful for CFO. They get the objective. Peanut can get the steal. And that's going to be them getting the pedals.
And you doubted CFO's Otacon.
Okay, my bad. I apologize.
CFO, after losing their mid laner, they TP back and they start the objective. It was a sketchy situation because Doggo lost so much HP, but Honkyu, he takes matters into his own hands. He tries to keep Peanut out of the pit. He slows him down, he makes it as awkward as possible. You can also see the satchel charge there as well. He can't quite get in range of the smite. It is secured by Junja. And after securing that kill, CFO do the wise thing, disengage from the situation, and they walk away by getting a kill and the Otacon.
Yeah, you can see Dandy and Mowgli looking a little bit perplexed as to how this one's going, as pedal count actually very, very even. So lucky for CFO that they did manage to take down the Otacon. Even that one out quite nicely, but it's not going to spell too much of an advantage just yet. 3,000 gold, certainly a big deal here as we close 25 minutes. But this is just Chemtech Soul. And the thing that's ridiculous is that I said before that it's not exactly the most popular Soul. It's Renekton and Trundle. Like, they will not die.
They love that. That's great stuff for them. The amount of sustain they have in their kits. Between the passive to subjugate. Renekton with his Q as Highwing is looking aggressively. Viper needs to do some damage. Hanwha alive. Get it low.
Well, there is the Solar Flare towards that backline as Junja in a bit of trouble, but it's so much AoE with this Mega Inferno Bomb. Still, Rest is going to go down. The double knockup is fantastic, and it's 2 on the floor here for CFO. Zeus is down, the Dragon getting amongst it as well as the ulti from Viper to soften up Honkyu as Zeka on the flank angle. The flash pulverize from Delight is gorgeous! And Viper is there with the follow-up DPS. Doggo now out of cooldowns, but is able to at least get rid of the cow. And HLE come alive finally in this game.
And at the final hurdle, CFO just don't fight the fight that they were looking for. I think a little bit disjointed as we see the ultimate comes in, but look at Viper in this fight.
The positioning was fantastic. Just keeping it arm's length away from any of the threats. The wall from Zeka dividing CFO as well, meaning that the usual in-your-face Doggo that we typically see was separated. And the moment that HLE could just play the front to back, it allowed them to pick apart CFO, secure the Dragon, and just like that, they're back into game 2.
And this time around, the Rexa actually had a really big impact, forcing multiple members away, so he basically created 2 split fights. On one hand, Viper was completely safe, but on the other hand, the backliners of CFO couldn't join the amount of damage that was being done, and now Viper 4-1-1, and it's an oldie but a classic when it comes to Hanwha Live.
Yeah, and the thing that's beautiful about this game is I think if you wanted a recap of HLE's year, just watch this game. You know, because there's so many of the situations where, you know, Zeka is making interesting decisions. A lot of, like, when they don't look good, it doesn't look great at all. As Zeus is continuing to have a rough time. That interruption was absurd as Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, but he takes another tunnel, tries to escape, and it does not work. And could this just be the setup as Zeus? This is one of the downturns for what we've seen from him as well, as they have just started this one up. HLE looking for an outer turret as well as Zeka on a flank angle. He will see Rest as he walks out of that brush, decides he doesn't want to face check, and these health bars are actually getting softened up. 50% on that Baron right now, and HLE still wanting to look for the 4 versus 5. I don't know about it, as there is a teleport available from Zeus. They need to buy some time. Only 15 seconds left to go, and they back away from the objective.
I love how the way I imagine Viper, the moment he sees his top laner dies, he takes a deep sigh and says, here we go again. As he, just the positioning in that Baron pit, he was chipping away at Junja's HP bar. Zeka found a bit of a pick, but is he in danger himself?
No, I guess not. As Kaiwing gets on in there with the Mega Cone. There is another flick back as well as River, not going to face check, gets a ward down. Peanut will be spotted, moves away. Man, these setups, it's scary. It's like jump scares waiting in every brush.
My goodness, the tension is at an all-time high, as it feels like it's Viper versus the world right now. If CFO can lock him down, then CFO can... I feel like there's very few threats that they need to be wary about, but the challenge is getting to the Caitlyn, and we've talked a lot about it. CFO need to find quite the flank in order to do that, and you just look at the minimap and look at the vision coverage on the top side of the map. You can see the advantages. Is it happening again?
Well, Junja is going to get the flash out of Peanut. He's got a Mega Cone to get himself to safety, which is obviously what he knew he had, so that's why he was in the enemy jungle like that.
Oh no!
Oh, there's a brilliant little flick, but the headbutt pulverize doesn't work, as Delight gives him the thumbs up.
Yeah, we're really getting both the full spectrum of Peanut and Delight in this one. Peanut giving up
There's the bell
flash
curve of HLE, and we've had both sides.
I see. Yep,
so
no,
far.
I can see that.
for not Raptors, and then Delight obviously also almost, or not getting the combo there. I want to highlight, though, looking at the item finishes, Doggo is so close to that death cap, and I do think very funny that Zeka is like, I am not the carrier, I'm going Rylai's, went that second actually, but it does mean that for Rest, for Junja, and for Honkyu, actually playing the fight gets a lot harder, especially with Viper's positioning as we've seen so far. Their main range is Doggo, and he needs to get to that Rabadons.
All right, well, then we can start a new fun mini-game.
I like mini-games.
Doggo is, as of right now, 300 gold away from the death cap.
Okay.
Just got himself another
200.
90, so now he's about 200, give or take.
So 200 gold.
He needs 200 gold from
STP.
somewhere. He can get 200 gold. The problem is the dragon ticking down. He needs to get it before this objective spawns. They might hand the red buff over to him. You can see him pathing down right now.
That's Krugs as well.
The thing is, CFO don't really need to fight tooth and nail for the Drake, though, right? They're the team that has the sole point. That's the value of that.
But it is CFO.
They will fight.
Come on now.
If they decide they want an item spike,
give CFO some credit.
They can choose to.
Gentlemen,
give CFO some credit.
We've reached that time. He has received enough funds in order to make the purchase of a game time. I was going to say lifetime, but it's a game.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Here we
Maybe
go.
it's the most important Rabadon's purchase, though, of his life. So far. Probably not.
Probably
but he
not.
is an 80 carry, so he doesn't buy that item very often.
Here we go. Death cap completed, level 16 as well.
All right, Junja in position now. We're getting the snap traps down, though. And HLE, they have pulled this one out. Zeka on that angle once again to try and get that wall in. Junja is trying to keep himself there. He's pushed all the way out. And so this dragon should go over to HLE. They deny a soul yet again. But can they win themselves a fight as Kaiwing goes in and then uses Delight to taxi his way out? They're both in that backline as Honkyu is delivered to the open arms of Zeka. And Rest is now just trying to slice and dice his way out. They'll take a crab. They get 1 kill, but it's exactly the one they needed.
And it's again Zeus in the back line that is able to keep Doggo out of the fight, which means that even with that death cap being done, he doesn't actually get in a position to output a lot of DPS as the TP comes in. CFO know that they cannot give up this Baron.
Every teleport is going to be employed to try and stop this one from going down. 25 seconds on Doggo as well, who doesn't have teleport when he does respawn. Still they're looking for the angle as Zeus goes in. It's a beautiful flick back, a double knock up again. The pulverize is there and Viper is indeed unstoppable as everyone is CCing every member of CFO, and that just allows Viper to shoot them. The Baron gonna go down next. It felt like a hint of desperation because CFO, it was 4 versus 5.
Doggo, you need to steal this. Run!
Oh
Run!
god, can he get into Mega Inferno Bomb range?
He can. He's
Come on,
gonna
come
try.
on.
Oh, well, it's down to 2,000 now. He's
It's
not going to be able to get there.
Oh!
And it probably wasn't going to happen anyway. There's a large circle saying, I'm throwing damage at the Baron.
Look at this ult from Zeka. Just fantastic once again to split up the fight. Rest comes in from the flank.
In between the
Yes,
wall
he
and
does.
the wall.
It's so awkward for Ginger to get into the pit. And then look at the backline. Viper is not under threat. This is what we talked about. They cannot get on top of him. Meanwhile, Delight and Zeus, the Bash Bros on the back line, make it so difficult for Doggo to play the game. And by the time we come to the Baron, the numbers are not in their favor. The flick from Zeka again. The quiet carry of Zeka this game. His I've forgotten the word.
Seismic shoves.
That's the one I'm looking for. His shoves have been fantastic. His walls have been on point. And HLE take firm control over game 2.
Yeah, it's like Zeka is walking around with a bazooka called Viper.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening.
Yes.
And he can tell his opponents just to, get away from him and into the open arms of the damage.
For CFO, the wave flare is amazing that they do have right between the Rise, who obviously does need to get into range, but especially with the Ziggs. So they might be able to stall it out. They need to be very careful, though. I think they really need to exercise restraint to get another shot, because Hanwha Life is not going to win the game off of this just this Baron push if they're not able to actually break open the base, and they are not even close to Soul just yet.
Yeah, well, you've got Zeus in that mid lane.
Just
CC
defend.
eaten by a tunnel.
Let them have the turrets. It's okay. Come on, CFO. I want my game free.
See whether we can get there. Another double shove comes on through, though, as Zeka. I think he just wants to go back to the Hotel Chronicle. I don't think he wants to give you that game number 3 as Junja down so incredibly low. Peanut to try and set up here as well. The Solar Flare is decent, but the shove, the knockups all over the place, just chained so beautifully by HLE. They'll use that to take down this inhibitor turret. And no Crocodile to stand in that front line and defend. The inhibitor might actually be defended, though, as we can see here. That's not going to go down just yet, but they have now broken open the base. A 6,000 gold lead here for HLE as well. As the siege continues, Delight gets the headbutt in, triple pulverize one more time as it's Zeus that assassinates Doggo yet again as Viper gets round the side to land the pot shots. It's a double as it all settles, and my God, HLE, they really came alive, and they were asleep at the beginning of this game. But no, it looks like it's going to be a 2-0, and our second LCK team will make their way to knockouts with the fall of this Nexus. Peanut's last dance is still alive.
I mean, it felt like HLE figured out the formula.